Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video, which is going to be on the entire Natasha Denona holiday collection. She released it on her website as a kit and I had to pick it up, so I wanted to share that with you today. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, I'm Yori. Thank you for clicking on today's video. I hope you're going to enjoy this one, find it helpful, and consider subscribing to my channel for some more makeup reviews and makeup chit chat. Thank you always to my first 5 commenters on my previous video. I really appreciate you showing my channel lab love, and I enjoy chatting makeup with you in the comment section. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into the video. As I mentioned in the intro, the Natasha Denona holiday collection consists of 4 pieces. There's 2 lipsticks from her I Need a Nude collection. There is a highlighter, which is called I Need a Nude Glow, and there is a mini eyeshadow palette, which is called the Mini Zendo palette. I purchased everything for $90 because I signed up for her emails and you got 10% off. They don't charge taxes when shipping to Chicago, and there were no shipping fees either. So I got the whole collection for $90. And I feel pretty good about that because there was already a bundle price, and with the Sephora VIB sale, I thought I did pretty good picking up all the pieces from her. So let's start by going into the Mini Zendo palette. This is a 5-pan eyeshadow palette in the mini set. Natasha Denona's formula is made in Italy. This one has a 24-month shelf life, and you do get 5 eyeshadows at 0.8 grams each. So they're teeny tiny little eyeshadows, but they're very functional little palettes, and I rather enjoy these little minis. So this is what the palette looks like. This is the Mini Zendo palette. It has a little bit of a copper finish, so it's a little bit reflective, which plays around with the colors a little bit. So I'm going to show you some close-ups as well as some swatches, and I'm going to be comparing this one to the Natasha Denona. This is the Mini Retro palette. When I first saw the Mini Zendo palette teased on Instagram, I immediately thought of the Mini Retro palette, and I thought that there were a lot of similarities in the color story. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch both of these for you on my arms so that you can take a look at the comparisons. I have to say that there are some interchangeable shades. For instance, the 2 silver shades I think are pretty interchangeable, and they would look exactly the same on the eye, as well as the transition shade. This one has just that one light pink shade. This one has a more peachy shade, and this one plus a deepening shade, which I find helpful. That was something that I felt was missing in the Mini Retro palette. Although there are some similarities, they're not really exactly the same. I think that it's textural differences that you have. For instance, this one does have a matte sort of pewter gray, and this one doesn't have that. So in general, I would say that the Mini Zendo palette runs a little bit warmer, and the Mini Retro palette slightly cooler. I will show you a demo of how I created the eye look. I'll save that for the end because I know not everybody likes to see those. So in general, the eyeshadow palette performed really well, but I have to say that if you have the Glam palette, you're going to have many options of a pewter shimmery shade, and then the other shades are something that could be easily duplicated in, for example, the Sunrise palette. So here I have the Sunrise palette, which shows a lot of those peachy transitions, and then it has the added benefit of having slightly deeper shades. For today's look, it's super subdued in my opinion. It's a little bit light, and I would have liked to have had something to deepen out the outer corner. So that's an advantage of the Sunrise palette. And then here is the Glam palette, which you can see has many shimmery, taupey, grayish shades to choose from. So if you have these 2, I really don't think that you're going to be needing the Mini Zendo palette unless you're like me and a collector, and then you have to catch them all. In general, it's a nice palette. If you do enjoy smaller palettes, if you get overwhelmed with a lot of choices, then something like this would be ideal for you. But personally, I don't think it's really a must-have. I also picked up her highlighter. This one is the I Need a Nude Glow highlighter, and you have an 18-month shelf life, also made in Italy, 8 grams total product. So here's what the outer packaging looks like. It's really pretty. It's got this blush beige finish, and the closure is magnetic. Beautiful mirror on the inside. This is what I was using to create my eye look. And for size comparison, here it is next to the ABH Resi highlighter. The ABH has 9 grams of product, so even though this one looks bigger, you're actually getting a little bit less product. So if you look at them side by side, you see that the ABH pan is actually considerably bigger. This highlighter highlighter has such a beautiful pattern on the front. For me, those beautiful imprints get me every single time. When I was seeing it, I'm like, oh, it's just a highlighter, I don't need it. But then I saw the inside, it looks so beautiful. It's got a pattern on it, and then it's got ND for Natasha Denona on the inside. I'm going to show you some swatches of this one as well. I'm going to compare it, and the first swatch you'll see left to right is going to be the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow. Next to that, you're seeing the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezi. After that, you're looking at Benefit's Cookie. Then, since it's new and trending now, I have Charlotte Tilbury's latest highlight. And then at the end, I put in each of the shades from the Hourglass Metallic Strobe Lighting Trio. So as you can see from the swatches, I personally think the greatest similarity is actually with Charlotte Tilbury's new highlighter. This one tends a little bit more peachy, where the Charlotte Tilbury tends a little bit more neutral. I'm going to insert some clips of me applying the highlighter, but you can see it's the highlighter I'm wearing today. It's definitely very beaming. It is really suitable for my skin tone. I think it's very good in that medium range, where if you're somewhere in the center of the color spectrum, you're going to be able to wear this just fine. If you're on either end of the spectrum, you may find it either too deep or too frosty. So hopefully with the swatches that I included, there's going to be a good point of reference for you to figure out if it's going to be something that works for you. Now, when I applied it, it's a really beaming, really pretty highlight. My skin is not looking its best today, but I think that it still looks pretty nice. But like any highlight, it's going to show any texture that you have on your face, and that is something that I noticed for this one, especially since it is so beaming. I also incorporated in my eye look. I put it on the inner corner as well as on the brow arch. There were also two lipsticks, and they are from the I Need a Nude lipsticks, 4 grams of product in each, and these have an 18-month shelf life. Now, the outer packaging, one is lighter and one is darker, and that's true for the colors as well. So for the colors, you have Maria as well as Andrea, and I'm going to swatch them both for you on the lips. So the first one is Maria, and it is the lighter of the two. This is one that I would call a pinky nude. Let me go ahead and swatch it on my arm. Swatched on my arm, it looks beautiful, but swatched on my lips, oh no, 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 no. It washes me out. I have very pigmented lips. You'll see when I'm doing the eyeshadow demo that my lips are naturally very pigmented, so it's very, very difficult for me to wear nudes like this. But if you don't have my problem, or you don't mind blanking out your lips with foundation before applying lipstick, you might really like this one. It looks horrible on me. Really, really horrible. The other one has darker packaging. Very beautiful. These are metallic packaging. Now, I think that in her collection, the other ones are white, and they have this. I don't have any from her other collection, so these are my first ones from the I Need a Nude collection, and this one is called Andrea. Andrea is more of a yellowy based nude, so I'm going to swatch it, and you can see that it's equally light, but the undertone is a little bit warmer in my opinion. It's super subtle, but you're going to see that on the lips. This one looks a little bit better. This one gives me that true nude look on my lips. Personally, I'm going to have to manipulate both of these lipsticks because, again, my lips are so pigmented in and of themselves that it always gives me that concealer lips look, which I don't really enjoy. Now, because Maria was the one that looked the absolute worst, that's the one I opted to wear today to show you how I would manipulate it. So I wore it with Wayne Goss lip liner, and this one is in the shade Mauve. So I did kind of overline my lips, and I filled out the outer corner, and I applied this on the inside to give me a little bit of an ombre look, and I think that it looks much better this way. So these are very light. The formula is very comfortable. The packaging is absolutely beautiful with that magnetic closure, but if I had known that they were going to be so light on my lips, I probably wouldn't have picked up either one of them. I prefer not to have to manipulate my lip colors. Luckily, in her entire I Need a Nude line, she has like 40 different nudes, and you're bound to find one that works out well for you, and hopefully seeing the swatches on my lip will help you determine if these are going to be suitable for you or not. So that's kind of my quick peek at the entire collection. I would love to hear your thoughts down below on what you think about the collection. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the eyeshadow demo and show you how I created this eye look and then share some final thoughts at the end. I'm going to start creating my transition using the two mattes in the palette. So starting with the lighter one in a BOM 44 Royal and Langnickel brush, I'm going to take the lighter of the two mattes and apply it to my transition. I did prime my eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Taking a slightly smaller brush, this is the BOM 46 brush, I'm going to apply the darkest matte in the palette. As you can see, I'm not getting a lot of depth with that shade. This can really be a very light, everyday kind of look. Once I have most of the color deposited on the outer corner, I'm going to do windshield washer motions to bring that into the inner crease, just a tiny bit. And then I'm going in with that larger brush just to make sure that everything is all blended. I want to use this grayish shade on the lid. It's called Stripped. And I'm going to pack that on my lid using a rougher 02 brush. I'm intentionally leaving the inner corner bare because I would like to apply some of the highlighter there. If that's the intensity you expect with a brush, I'm going to apply a little bit with my finger just on the center part of my eye. I'm going to take a little bit of the highlighter and a Sonia G Smudger 1 brush, and I'm going to apply this right to the inner corner. I'm going to take a slightly more dense brush and that deeper matte shade, and I'm going to try to intensify the outer corner. With that same brush, I'm going to take the lighter matte shade, and I'm going to run that along the lower lash line. And I'm going pretty far with that because I'm going to put the deeper one closer to the lash line. Now with the Sonia G Crease 1, I'm just going to deepen out the outer corner. So as you can see, this isn't really going to be a very intense look. You could use the darker metallic out in the outer corner as well, but I think I want to go for a softer look today. I also want to use the highlighter on the brow arch. There's a close-up of the eye look. Here's your finished eye look with liner and mascara. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I created the eye look. Just some closing thoughts. My personal pick of the collection is going to be the highlighter. I think it's really beautiful. It definitely suits my skin tone. I don't have to manipulate in any kind of way. And it's a formula that's buildable. So you can go in with a light hand or you can really buff it in for that beaming highlight look if it's one you enjoy. The lipstick formula, I really think it's a beautiful formula. It's a cream finish. It's really, really nice. It has a very good smell too. Has like a slight sweet smell, but not sickeningly sweet at all. The packaging is so beautiful, but because the shades are not ideal for me, I probably wouldn't have picked these up either if I had been able to like swatch them in store and see that they're really just a little bit too light for me. The eyeshadow palette's a great little palette, very easy to use. It's going to give you a little bit of versatility. You can make a beautiful coppery smoky eye with this, absolutely, but I did want to use that gray shade since it's kind of the pop in the entire palette, and the other look would have been even more neutral than this one. So I think that it is going to give you maybe 2 or 3 looks that you could create out of this palette, and the quality is good. So if it's a color story that you're drawn to and you don't have the other palettes that I mentioned, then this might be a good venture into the Natasha Denona collection. But again, personally, because I have all the other palettes, I really didn't need this either. So for me personally, the standout is going to be the highlighter. Just the same, everything was really good quality. So I'm going to hang on to it and enjoy having it in my collection. Hopefully this answered any questions that you may have had about the collection. If you have any others that I didn't think of, please leave them in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to answer them as best as possible. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget that big thumbs up and consider subscribing so you can join me for a future video. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing really well, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.